So, Premier, give me an idea. What is the party expecting to clear from tonight's fundraiser?
Well, the cost per table is about $5,000, so it's $500 a plate. And once expenses are all taken care of, we should clear about $150,000 tonight.
So, a lot's been made of where the party's at in the polls, but you can still fill a room.
Absolutely. Even charge of $500 a plate.
So, in your speech, you were sort of there was a message that the good news stories aren't getting out there, and this ad campaign. I think you said there was a little bit of frustration that the story's not getting told, and that's what's driving this. Is that?
Absolutely. There are wonderful, wonderful stories. I felt it. When I went on a site visit, and the company was repairing gearboxes of tanks that were operational in Afghanistan. And, the sands of Afghanistan were in a building at the back of the Avalon Mall in the industrial park there. And I was excited about that. Of all the places in the world that work could have been done, it was being done right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. When you look at just in terms of the 9 companies we're featuring in the campaign, the work that's being done at PAL, is nothing short of incredible. I mean, the planes that they're building, and they've just built 2, I think, for the United Arab Emirates. Leading edge technology, doing absolutely incredible work. You've got Subsea in Clarenville. You got the snowboarding. Imagine snowboards in Stephenville. And the list goes on and on. What's going on in our university and the Marine Institute. Most people don't realize, in the America's yacht race, those boats are often tested here in St. John's up in our wave tank. So if I'm excited and invigorated and motivated by those kinds of stories of innovation, ingenuity, taking a risk on ourselves right here in Newfoundland and Labrador, I think that people of the province would share that. It's especially important for me that young people hear those stories because it's amazing what you can do right here. And there's lots of supports now in government programs. We have a really broad, well-resourced investment portfolio for communities and for small businesses, medium-sized business and entrepreneurs here in the province. So we need to be having these kinds of conversations.
But where's the line between sort of telling positive stories about Newfoundland and Labrador companies and, painting the government in the best possible light because you're down in the polls?
But the two aren't related. We need to have those stories told. They're important to the psyche of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, and government doesn't invest in all of those companies. Many of them have brought their own investment from around the province or from outside the province. I mean, we're leading the country in inward investment, over the next 2 years.
But if it's about, population growth and about business attraction, shouldn't those ads be running somewhere other than here?
No, we need to invest in ourselves and build confidence and motivation in ourselves. We don't want everybody in this province thinking that the only things that we have here are energy and fish. And our news on a daily basis are predominated by these stories. And there are all these other wonderful things that are going on, and it's small and medium-sized businesses that drive the economy. And so it's to acknowledge that work, to make sure that everybody in the province understands what's going on. I mean, the puzzle for me is why we have to do it. Why these stories aren't being told, because they're exciting, and in my view, they're newsworthy. But it's because they aren't being told that we've taken it on ourselves to tell that story.
In your speech, you mentioned that the province shouldn't be governed like it's a popularity contest. Was that a reference to your predecessor, Mr. Williams?
No, not at all. We took a virtually bankrupt government, a virtually bankrupt province, and built it into something successful and prosperous on a trajectory of growth. And he led all of that. And he didn't run the province as a popularity contest. He took pretty tough decisions and was vilified, not only here in the province, but from one end of the country to the other, because of positions that he took. But he took them on principle, and he believed they were the right things to do. And they've proven out to be the right things to do.
While we're talking about raising money for the party, certainly the Liberals have just gone through their leadership campaign. There's no requirement for Mr. Ball or any of the other candidates to disclose the amounts. Do you think that they should have to say where the money came from?
Well, you know, what I focus on is our internal workings. And so we do have campaign limits on our leadership, and there is a requirement to report internally constitutionally about where the donations are coming from. And there's a cap on the amount any one donor can contribute to a leadership campaign. So I think our cap is $200,000 and the donation amount is $10,000 per individual. And that has to be all reported internally. We're undergoing a review of our Constitution now, a number of amendments to be brought forward in our next convention, and that is certainly something we're looking at. I don't have any problem at all with full disclosure.
There's been a certain amount of talk from the Liberals, as much as anyone, that this sort of thing at some point should probably be enshrined in the Elections Act. Is that something you'd be interested in looking at?
Well, it's certainly something we can look at. I don't have any difficulty at all with the people of the province knowing the sources of funding for political parties. No problem.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.